Welcome. It's Thursday. I'm sitting here and I was reading this article and I just started skipping and looking through a lot of other articles. And they're claiming that the cyber attack that was executed on United Health Group cost the system at least $872 million. And I'm just like, so hear me out. I'm not saying so because, oh Lord, that's a big bird. I'm not saying so because it's a lot of people that actually suffered and went through a lot because they weren't able to access the people's records. The attack was so bad that like their intranet, inside the facilities wasn't working well, and like certain billing and things of that nature wasn't able to be inputted into the system. All these birds. Hey. Um and so with them not being able to enter billing and payments into the system, that means they lost a substantial amount of money. Now they've been robbing, allegedly, people blind when it comes to the healthcare system, and that's been going on for a long time. So basically, it got so bad that they had to pay a ransom in the amount of $22 million to a group that's called Black Cat in the form of Bitcoin to loose the attack, okay? To take the attack down. Then I was listening to somebody else recently. I want to say it was Steve Poplar report talking about how they doing it again. And then I read another report and it was talking about, oh, it will really affect people, you know, lower class people that don't have money, in the first place or whatever when it comes to healthcare. This is what I think. Um, a lot of the people that had their hand in the events that happened in the last couple years that made them a lot of money, that made them substantially richer. They invested in certain pharmaceuticals. Their money, they good to go. Now, my problem with this data breach is it conveniently stops the people from being able to build and make more money. Now, this is what I want to say. This reminds me of something that happened about 10, at least 10 years ago, where a lot of people's information was breached anyway. Like literally, like out of nowhere, you would see so many different reports of certain clinics and stuff. You finding large amounts of papers being placed in the back of the dumpsters with people information blasted all over them. Um, so much so they provided citizens with like certain securities for their credit because all of their information was leaked. So I'm like, this is no different. So every couple years you make this information available. I just feel like it's hogwash, in my opinion, because you are able to release so much, like that is so much data alone. That data alone, you can use and manipulate and do what you want to do with it for the upcoming few months, in my opinion. And I'm just being real, because quantitative data is the numbers. The numbers will be available when when you go through all of the information. And I'm I hope you picking up what I'm putting down. Oh, I hear you. But I'm saying this to say that that's a lot of data that's out there. So this is nothing no different than this happened. Let me go back. It had to be at least 15 years ago when they offered the citizens. It ended up being like a lawsuit or something that came behind how much the information, that was leaked out. So to this day, I can't think of the name of the service, but you can use it and you can go to your email address and they send it to you, and you can use it as a citizen, as a safeguard, to be able to go and look onto your reports to see if any type of things were placed up there, any type of fraud, right? A lot of people got that. And in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people that receive subsidized care were victims of this, in my opinion. I'm saying that because if you really, really look at it, a lot of those people were offered these services because, of course, they weren't going to go and compensate the citizens for messing up and doing that. What's going on with my phone? But anyway, I just find it real odd because that's a lot of quantitative data that they paid to get back. And then again, it's starting to ramp back up again, and the people are threatening again to rehack the system, from what I heard on another source. And that's something that the media is not really talking about. So I'm going to leave that alone. Now, with that being said, I think it's very wise for many people to go and make sure all of their stuff is frozen. I'm talking about every bureau. I ain't just talking about Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. I'm talking about those other ones that they communicate with. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, I'm saying this to say, I get it. Some people really don't care about their credit and things of that nature, and that's fine. But honestly, this is my question. If you're going to hack something and you want to be that person to really, be a martyr, they need to go hack them daggone student loans, in my opinion. Because that's one of the things that's crippling American people. They want to help us. Let me get back on. That was a little side rant. Because I'm just like, and you think about so much as it relates to healthcare. Like when you walk into a office, I don't even care if it's a dental office, they ask you so much information. And then when you come back again, if you haven't been there in a year, you have to update all that information, and you have to tell everything. You have to go in and talk about things that you've had previously prior to coming to them. All of that information is now on the black web. This is what the people are reporting. They are reporting that there's a lot of information, so much so I started getting these weird messages within the last 2 months, and I really didn't tie it together because I really didn't, I started getting added to like group chats for the USPS Postal Service, and I was like, what in the world is that? And because the phone it happened on is an Android, and I can show it to you. I ain't got no reason to lie. You might not be able to see it that way. Let me brighten it up. And I was just like, well, what in the world is this? So I had to go and exit myself out of the chats. And I was just like, and it basically says, due to an address issue, your package has been redirected to our operations center. Please follow the link provided below to confirm your address, and we will accordingly reschedule your shipment. I ain't ordered nothing. So people's information and data has been leaked once again. And I'm going to say, I remember this happening around 2008. I'm being honest. I remember it happening because a couple years later, that's when the people were provided the credit monitoring systems. And it was a lot of people that had like Medicaid and things of that nature that was offered that specific service. So again, we're like looping back into that. If you picking up what I'm putting down, where this thing headed, because it's crazy. I'm just like, what do you mean? Oh, and then it was another message, which is like a normal. Well, this is the second time somebody has done this in the last. The first one came through on the 12th, and like 4 days later, they sent another one. And this, the phone that I'm talking on is a iPhone. This is an Android. So for some reason, I'm not able to block the numbers. But it's like a whole bunch of like, it's like 4 different people, different numbers in the chat. So what I'm saying is, just be careful with your devices. Again, when you go into offices and clinics, you dropping your phone number, your address, your date of birth. Like, so all of this information is circulating on the dark web. And I want to say maybe two years ago when I was using myfico.com, when I was paying for the subscription, it was $39.99 a month. And what it would do, it would update you and alert you when you have when your name is being searched and used. Hey Sheldon. Yeah. And so I get see these strange messages are coming through because, and then another thing people have to remember, again, all of the information when you go into facilities. I'm outside sweating. I gotta go get me a cold drink. I'm waiting on my daughter to get out of art. You have to remember that's what they're doing. So basically, they're using all of that information to get whatever they can get. And it's just weird. Like, I started getting messages about a bank. Well, my first, and then you think about, okay, the information that they have, it's enough to go in to get more information. So with that being said, say if you can get like a soft credit pool or something like that. That's why I've already locked all of my stuff. Like, I think I sent out maybe 8 letters to have everything. And that was just a few months ago. But that information can be used, and it's crazy. Like, I also got a message from a actual bank. Now, this was a scam that was going on local in my area with the because I live in a military town, and a lot Navy Federal Credit Union. So they was like going in and texting people, and I'm like, well, how do they know who banks with Navy Federal Credit Union? How are they getting the people's? How are they able to text the specific members to get this information? So that tells you the type of data breaches that have been going on for a while that a lot of people not really talking about. And then I received a message recently from a bank that I didn't have, and I was like, oh yeah, they slipped up and sent me the wrong thing, because I don't even bank with that bank. But also think about the phones that people were given. Now, I don't have a phone that was government issue, but if you think about it holistically, all of these phones are technically under that umbrella. You know what I mean? So just be a little bit mindful. You know, remind your elderly people, or you know, people that really don't know what's going on. But it's a lot of breaches going on. Yes, they do sell it to other companies. So like even when you using different social media platforms, when they go in and they update them terms and agreements, you really a lot of times don't know what you are updating and what you're agreeing to. So again, if you dropped your phone number in a certain situation, boom, you start getting all these crazy messages. So yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff going on with the technology. But I started out talking about how I just finished watching a video on Steve Poplar, and he was talking about um, when the people hacked, what is it, the healthcare system. What was the name of it? United Health. And a lot of people was talking about how they couldn't get their charts and couldn't do billing and couldn't make appointments. And it was a lot of things they couldn't access. And now they're talking about losing $872 million. What do you think they're going to try to recoup that at? If you picking up what I'm putting down, um, that's all I'm saying. So I'm getting ready to go get me a cold drink. It's a little warm out here. But I just wanted to talk about that, and I hope you guys are staying safe, making sure you save more than you spend, and I guess you could say shop smart, and just live as simple as possible. That's all I can say. But it was nice talking to you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get on up off here. I think I done said a mouthful. But you know, tell a friend to tell a friend to just pay attention to these type of things. And you know, again, some people don't really care about their credit, but some people do. So you might want to go in and get a list of all of the bureaus that you need to, just not just the three that we all know about. Like I'm talking about going into LexisNexis. It's another one called AG something, AGI or something like that. Like you have to really go through and just make sure they're not sharing any of your information any no further than what you approve. That's all you can do as far as on that end. Anything outside, I mean, you can't really control it, but to protect it to where you know. All right, y'all be blessed.